Hey guys, and welcome to episode 18. And in this episode, we're going to discuss some of the movements, some of the dividends I've received, and some ups and some downs of my stocks. And finally, we're going to review some of my dividends overall portfolio. So let's get started. So last week, as we know, was we started off at £16,221, and we had a stellar week this week. We hit £17,500, which is a whopping £1,300 or 8% in my portfolio this week alone, which is absolutely amazing. And we're going to explain why it's amazing, because usually you'd get 8-9% in case of the whole year. But some of the stocks that I picked really popped. Some really great movements, but we're going to go into that a little bit later on in the video. We're going to have a look at some of the movements this time. So in the last week, what I did was added LGBW, which is a really new innovative company which deals with some new tech that's come out in the ultrasound department, so healthcare department. So it's nice to diversify away from the EVs. So this is another addition, albeit only £1. But I'm just waiting for more funds to come in so I can put a larger holding into this new ultrasound tech. But if you guys want to do your research, it's a really sound stock. I did put some money into Ideanomics, which I'll just kind of discuss on the 25th. And then I got a dividend payment from Unilever, which is fantastic. Always love my dividend payments. Okay, and then on the 25th, which was the Wednesday, I got basically some more shares in Longview. After selling Ideanomics, I actually bought at the wrong time, but because it was just a small trade, I only put a small amount of money in, not too fast. I sold off straight away and put that straight into LGBW. I also got another dividend payment from Prospect, which is 21p, and added another £1 to the monthly pie stock, monthly pies, and then added that with the initial dividend payment from Prospect, and invested in LTC, which is another monthly dividend stock. So that concluded that day. And then yesterday, Lemonade was moving really good, really positive, hit all-time highs of 75, and I decided to sell. I did discuss in my last video why Lemonade, I had some of my reservations about Lemonade, and so I did manage to sell at a profit about roughly £28-30, and I moved that into Ep18. And some of you who might already know, those who don't, basically it's a company that worked alongside Microsoft, has huge potential, and so I put some more money in there. And still diversifying away from EVs. A lot of EVs are moving really mad. So let's have a look at our holdings. So we have upped our holdings from 35 last week to 36 this week, and obviously I've discussed them with the buying and selling. Overall, so this is how my stocks are overall so far. Some of the greens. So let's move on to the greens page. Fisker finally positive. So happy that it's moving in the right direction, and it's gonna basically realize its goal, realize its potential. Okay, so next we're moving on to Palantir, another stock that's absolutely gone really crazy, really positive movement throughout the week. Then moving on to QuantumScape, which was Kensington acquisition, finally accepted its merger now into QuantumScape. Really interesting battery tech, and it's moved further forward into the positive. Can't really complain. We're going to skip over SPE, come back to that at the end. Tesla, obviously, as we know, with the indexes and the ETFs, a lot of the people are just buying up now before the ETFs get in. I think the dates that I've been told are the 14th of December and the 21st of December. So ideally, if you can buy in before then, you're in for a really good, decent amount of movement in the positive direction. So then, last but not least, is TRNE finally moving into the right direction. Also coming closer to the voting date on the 8th of December. It was negative 200 in the week prior, and finally hit the positive mark and then some. So great news. And then back to SBE, and literally the best mover in my whole portfolio, and it's literally gone from 80% to 150 odd percent, which is absolutely ridiculous. I've doubled my money on and some more on top of that, And this is what some of the EVs bring to the table, especially for those who are trading and enjoy trading. I did trade some of it of SBE last week. I didn't get around to it doing this week, obviously with what I'm currently doing in the investing portfolio. But yes, so absolutely fantastic. Let's moving on to the red page, and on obviously Hillian, which is still negative, still not so much movements, but there are some good things coming out of Hillian. So it's not all doom and gloom, and it's still why I'm holding it. It's basically still collecting some payments from from bigger companies, getting them resources together, and then finally giving it a big push in the right direction. So I'm still hopeful. I'm still positive in that, and I feel like it's gonna move. It's gonna move, and it's gonna move a huge amount because electric trucks, are a huge market. Okay, and so that covers all the movers and my holdings and everything. So this is a little bit of an addition. I thought I'd make it really interesting, especially for those dividend investors. And so these are the dividend earnings I've received over the last year, and I did start in December and on Free Trade app. So now I moved across. So if you have a look, obviously December, January, February, March, very slow relative income, especially in March. I had a lot of income on March, and on average, I'm receiving about £5 a month, which is fantastic. If you look at it in the grand scheme of things, I didn't receive any payments in May because that was when I had the huge sell-off from Free Trade and moved my portfolio across into trading 212. So that's why there's nothing for May, but overall, I'm really happy with the results of this dividends investing also. So the total money I earned for the last year is £64.87p, and that's just amazing. I'm not complaining, and I'm really happy. And it just keeps me motivated to keep investing in those dividend stocks as well as those growth stocks, because both give you gains in different ways, and it's important to keep diversified and keep in doing both, because if one fails, you've still got the other backing you up. And in this case, SBE has been moving really well, and on top of that, I've got a bit of dividends to back it up too. So absolutely amazing so far. So the question of the day today is, which is your all-time favorite stock? Whether it be a growth, whether it be a dividends, just drop it down in the comment section below. I'd love to hear all your comments and maybe give me a few reading points so I can have a look at some of the companies that you guys really enjoy, and perhaps maybe I could add it into my portfolio also. So that concludes this episode. Thank you for listening, guys, and please, if you like any of the comments, if you like any of the things that I've been saying, please drop us a like and subscribe. I really appreciate it, and thank you guys for listening.